Salutations friends, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a fragrance first impression, and it's going to be on a fragrance from Lalique, and it's on their Noir Premier line, and it's, please, I've been listening to Google Translate, Fruits de Mouvement. It's, or the fruits of the movement, as the English translation goes. And I'm really excited to review this to you because my essay could not stop gushing about it. So if you guys would like to know my first impressions of this fragrance and also what I thought about the last fragrance I did on my fragrance first impressions video, then keep watching. You may have noticed that I didn't have a fragrance first impressions last week. I could not wear the one which was Montale Dark Purple enough the week before to give it a good review just because I was congested and I just was not at a place where I could give it a proper review. So I did wear it more, and I'm ready to give you guys my thoughts on that. So if you guys don't know how these fragrance first impressions works, this is your first time tuning in, I always will give you guys a rundown of how these videos work. The first half of the video, I will be giving you a first impressions of a fragrance that I have never smelled before, or at least has never touched my skin. I've smelled it on a strip, smelled it on other people. As you know, body chemistry has a lot to do with it, and sometimes if you're smelling something on somebody else's skin, you don't know if they just reapplied, you don't know if they used anything to help enhance it, you don't know if they layered it, if they're wearing a body lotion, or maybe they soap. You don't really know how it's going to smell on you on clean, fresh, unscented skin. So this is again from Lalique Noir Premier, Fruits de Mouvement. I've been listening to Google Translate forever. I put it on my skin. I give it like 10 to 15 seconds for it to settle on my skin, and then I will give you my first impressions of the opening. And then I come back in probably about 15 to 20 minutes, sometimes a little bit longer, when I feel it's dried down, and I'll give you my first impressions of the dry down. That's what you get today. The next fragrance first impressions video, I will give you my final thoughts on it after wearing it a bunch of times, talk to you more about longevity, about projection, how it develops on my skin, and if it's worth the price tag. These are pricier, I believe it's $300 a bottle. So if you want to know all of that stuff, you'll have to come back next video, which means at the end of this video, the second half, you're going to get my final thoughts, or a mini review basically is what it is, of the fragrance I tried last time, which is Dark Purple from Montale. So enough of this chit chat, let's get into the video. So I was talking with my essay, I was actually talking about Rose Royale, and he asked me if I tried this one, and I said no, and he's like, this is my favorite. So let me tell you about the notes in here, and I'll kind of tell you a little bit about what he said. The top notes in this are black pepper and mandarin, the heart notes are jasmine and prune, the base notes are amber and sandalwood. Now, I was talking about the osmanthus in the Rose Royale, and we were talking about different fragrances he liked, and he had actually mentioned by Guerlain Forbidden Games, and I love that one. And I was talking about how I like dried fruit notes in fragrances. I think it adds a lot of depth and complexity without losing any of the fruitiness that sometimes you want from fruity fragrances. It's really nice to have fruity fragrances sometimes. I really enjoy them. But sometimes they can go too fruit salad and not much complex, beautiful, fruity fragrance. And so he's like, have you tried this one? And I was like, no. He's like, oh my gosh, you're going to love it. So he spritzed a little bit on a strip, and I thought it smelled beautiful. But he said that the longer you wear it, the more prune and the sandalwood comes out, and the black pepper mixes with everything, and it's really, really nice, and it sounded amazing. So he gave me a sample of it, and I was saving this to review, but I didn't want to do it too close to the Rose Royale. So I've actually been sitting on the sample for like 2 months at this point. It's been a while, and I've been wanting to wear this, but I wanted to do a fragrance first impression with this, so I have not been touching it. And when I've gone to the counter, he's like, have you tried it? I'm like, not yet. He's like, do you want to wear it? I'm like, no. So I'm really excited to finally being able to review this fragrance for you. And it just started raining, so if you hear weird background pitter patter, it is the pitter patter of raindrops on my roof. So the unfortunate thing is, this is not in any type of spritz. I'm gonna have to splash this. I don't have any empty atomizers anywhere. No travel atomizers, no nothing. So that is one thing I'm not too happy about, but I'm gonna see if I can track down an empty atomizer to wear throughout the week, but it shouldn't make too much of a difference when it comes down to opening notes or the dry down. To me, the atomizer is more when it comes down to longevity and things like that. So let's get to splashing. There we go. The bottles and presentation for these are gorgeous, you guys. Absolutely stunning. Get some behind my neck too. Alright, so let's give this like 10-15 seconds to kind of melt into my skin, and I'll let you know about the opening. Okay, it's just a few seconds. I just kind of like don't want it to be wet on my skin. I kind of want it to just kind of like sink in. The opening of this immediately is black pepper, and that's really, really nice. It's not like a synthetic, jarring, cold black pepper. It's actually kind of warm, which is really nice. And I get a little bit of the Mandarin, but I'm getting more of the Prune, which is really, really nice. So you're getting black pepper, a little bit of Mandarin, and Prune in the opening. It's really, really nice. I like that it's spiced, not spicy, and it's mixing really together with the other notes in this. So far, this is really, really nice. I'm gonna let this sit on my skin. Generally, here's the thing, when it comes to Jasmine, either it develops on my skin right away, so it dries down and you can immediately get it in like 10 minutes, or it takes like half an hour. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait till I can perceive the Jasmine. If it's 10 minutes, and that's when I will. If it's half an hour, then that's where it is. Different fragrances, different time periods. I just kind of like to play it by ear, so I give you the best possible first impression. So I will come back very soon, and I will let you guys know my thoughts, first impressions on the dry down. And there we go. Okay, hi. It's been about 20 minutes. I'm just starting to get the Jasmine now, so I figured now would be a good time to tell you how it's dried down, how all the fragrances are playing together. It's interesting though, because at this point I'm getting all the notes. I'm getting hits of black pepper, Mandarin, the Jasmine, the Sandalwood, the Amber, and most definitely the Prune. The Prune is very prevalent in this, but mixed with the Jasmine and the Amber, it's giving it kind of like a nectar sweetness, which is really, really nice. And the black pepper is kind of keeping it from being too sweet. It's like balancing everything out with this really nice kind of like acidic spice. So it's a little bit softer than I was expecting because of the Amber and the black pepper and the Prune, but I feel like that's a plus, because sometimes when you have too much of those other notes, it can get too heavy. And there's something really nice about the softness of this with the spiced and the deepness of like the dried fruits, the Prune. Overall, everything is playing together really, really nicely on the skin. This is one of those fragrances I think that doesn't have a lot of complexity when it comes down to how it wears. I don't think it's going to have much of a scent story. I think it's one of those fragrances where it's going to smell one way the entire time, and then it's just going to be really intense in the beginning and then really, really just faint in the end. Which means if you wanted to reapply, you're not going to lose the integrity of the fragrance as how it smells when you reapply it. Because the Jasmine's here now, and it took about, I forget, like 10-15 minutes? I don't even remember. You're not going to, it's not going to be a jarring reapplication. So I feel like this is one you could reapply if you wanted to wear it throughout the day. It's not going to have a crazy opening again, then you're going to have to wait a while to get the beautiful dry down notes. I know some people, there's some fragrances that have crazy openings that people can't stand, and then as it dries down, they're like, this is what this perfume is all about. If I just worried about the opening, I would never buy it. And so they don't reapply it because I have to deal with that opening again. Oh goodness, no. But this is not one of those fragrances. It has a very pleasant opening, very sweet, but again, the pepper is balancing everything out. This is gonna sound weird. I love fresh mangoes, but I worked with a woman and she put black pepper and vinegar on her mangoes, and I thought she was crazy until she was like, try it. And I did, and it was like, oh, this is amazing. Like the sourness from the vinegar and the pepper and the super sweetness of the mango, everything balanced out, and it was amazing. Almost like a pickled mango. And so that's kind of like what I'm getting from this. You're getting the ultra sweet nectar-esque from the fruits and the Jasmine, and you're getting the syrupiness from the Amber, but then the Sandalwood just kind of mellowing everything out, and that pepper is balancing everything, and it's really, really nice. So far this is pretty good. I know that there's an issue with the Noir Premier fragrances from Lalique that they don't have a lot of staying power. And I know that on the last one, Rose Royale, it developed weirdly on my skin. So for now, this is really, really good, but I'm gonna see how this one wears. But it is really nice, and I do like the mix of the really like fresh fruit, sweet fruit, dried fruit with the woodiness and the pepper. So far it's really, really good. Alright, so let's get into dark purple. This is from Montale. Let me just remind you guys of the top notes of this are plum and orange, the heart notes are rose, patchouli, red fruits, the base notes are ambergris, teak wood, and white musk. This is one of those rose patchouli fragrances that is everywhere, and when you smell them, they all smell the same. But I love that, and I keep buying them. This one, because of the plum and the orange, it goes kind of jammy, but not crazy jammy. And I do like the added sweetness, kind of makes it a little bit more feminine, a little bit more youthful and playful. I did have one issue with this fragrance, and it's not a bad issue, is that the top notes and the things that kind of set this apart from other rose patchouli fragrances didn't last that long. After about an hour, they completely dissipated and you were left with another rose patchouli fragrance. This reminded me very much of, say, Rose Flash or Calligraphy Rose or fragrances like that. And although it was really, really beautiful, for like half the price or a quarter of the price, you could get another fragrance that's very similar to it as you wear it on your skin. So overall, I would say that dark purple is a beautiful fragrance. If you like rose patchouli, I think this is definitely a gorgeous one. Maybe on other skin, you could definitely get. So it is a successful fragrance. It is like, I could buy it. I don't need it. So if I have a desire to add more rose patchouli fragrances to my collection, I'd probably definitely pick this one up. It was really, really nice. And on other people's skin, if the plum and orange stays longer, then I definitely think you have something different and unique and special, especially if you gravitate towards that type of fragrances, this kind of like deep spiced rose fragrances that are on the jammy syrupy side but are really, really nice. But I would say for me that this isn't an immediate buy because it does kind of remind me after an hour. It's almost identical to other rose patchouli fragrances I have in my collection that are more inexpensive. Now you guys know I don't shy away from prices of fragrances. If it smells good and I got the money for it, I'll buy it. I don't mind. But I do try to have a little bit of diversity in my collection. And if I have a lot of the same things, even if that thing is the best out of all of them, if I have a lot of the same things, I'm like, I probably wouldn't wear it as much, or I wouldn't wear the others as much, so I'm like, I wouldn't add it. Unless it's something that I could layer, unless it's something that I cannot live without it in my life, unless it's something that I know I'm going to be going through it really quickly, or I can buy a small bottle of it, like a tiny bottle of it, to see how fast I would go through it. And I don't think that that would happen with dark purple. So I'm not knocking this fragrance. It had wonderful longevity on my skin. Pretty almost beast mode for me, which is like 10 to 12 hours, which is incredible, which is really, really nice. Amazing sillage, fills a room, really has a enormous, ginormous scent cloud. So that was really, really cool. And the fragrance was beautiful. I really genuinely love this fragrance. But the reason why I didn't bring it to you guys last week is because the first 2 times I wore it, the orange and the plum went away so quickly, like within like 45 minutes. I was like, oh, I want to make sure that that's, when I bring this information to you guys, that that's correct. And it was really hot and really humid. So we've had a bunch of thunderstorms, and there have been days where I've just been inside in air conditioning, and I'm like, now I can wear this. I'm not congested. I can see how this performs indoors with air conditioning before I give you guys the crazy, like, sweating through my clothes wear time with this. And it performed pretty much the same way. I will say, in humidity, it still stuck to my skin and stayed a long time, which is really, really good. But the top notes did go away at the same time, about 45 minutes to an hour. So I would say is, when you first apply this to your skin, and say you're going someplace and you can test this, apply it to your skin, give yourself more than an hour. See how it smells on your skin. If those top notes can last an hour, I think that they will have more staying power on your skin, because they were completely gone there was no fruitiness whatsoever on my skin. It was pretty much patchouli and rose with just a little bit of wood. And although that is beautiful, I feel like the beauty of this fragrance that sets it apart is very much kind of those fruity notes, which kind of makes it a little bit more feminine, a little bit more jammy, a little bit more playful. So this is a fantastic fragrance and I do really enjoy it, but on my skin I don't think it would work because I would want those fruity notes and I didn't get the staying power with those fruity notes, but that might be different for you guys. So I would definitely sample this first. If the fruity notes are what is intriguing you about this, if it's just you love patchouli rose and you just will buy any patchouli rose, then you could definitely buy this. It's great. It really is. I'm not knocking this fragrance. It's just talking about how it developed on my skin and the notes and kind of reviewing it for you guys. Is the fact that the top notes didn't stay long enough, and that's what I think sets this apart from other rose patchouli fragrance combinations. So then it just smelled like other rose patchouli fragrance combinations, which are beautiful. Anyway, that's my review of Dark Purple from Montale. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you guys like my first impressions videos. If you do, remember to give this video a thumbs up. It lets me know to continue doing videos like this. And also don't forget to subscribe because it's free. And I'm free, and I put out new videos every Monday through Friday, sometimes on the weekends as well. So always have something for you to watch. In any case, I hope you guys are all happy and healthy and have a great day, month, year, whatever. And I'll see you next time. Bye!